I didn't know he was saying any of this.
I know, right? It's actually way more complex than I thought. I mean, imagine approaching the other members of the Doobie Brothers and being like, I got this song. And it's like a diatribe.
Yeah.
This is a whole story he's telling.
Yeah.
That chorus didn't even sound like a chorus. There was nothing to hang your hat on there except for the melody.
It's very lyrics rich.
Yeah. As he rises to her apology. That's poetry.
It is. It's evocative. It paints a picture in your head. Mm-hmm. This would be a nightmare on karaoke, though.
Oh, yeah. You have to know this front to back. God, man, what a song.
Yeah. They don't make them like that anymore.
They don't make them like that.
Tell you what.
He could. Ain't no songs like that anymore, boy, I tell you. We leave the whole Michael McDonald intro. Do you you really even, at this point, does it even matter? Does anything matter, man? Does it even matter?
What if it wasn't recording? What would it matter?
What would it matter? What if this whole thing just wasn't recorded? What would it matter?
We'd still have these experiences, and that's what matters
we would
most.
Still, yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's the only recorder I need right here.
And it's the memories that we cherish.
Mm-hmm.
As we go on.
We remember all the times, baby.
That song's called Graduation Day, right?
Yeah.
So dumb.
Vitamin C?
Yeah. What's that one song by the Lumineers? Hold on, I gotta look it up. You know what? I'll go after the Michael McDonald intro, but we're just cold opening right now.
Okay.
Because we,
yeah.
I mean, you know,
we're here now. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's great to open with you silently researching a Lumineers song.
Yeah, hold on. It won't be. It won't. No, I got it. I'll get it in 2 seconds. 2 shakes of lamb's tail, because it's their biggest. You know what song I'm talking about? Ho hey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Those the kind of songs that are named like that. I mean, send me into a fit of rage.
I mean, yeah, it's a millennial trope.
Yeah.
And it's horrible.
Yeah,
it's very
awful.
cringy.
Ho hey.
That's
the name of that. You know when I found that out? I was inconsolable at work. It came on at some point and I was like, oh man, I really, really hate this song. What is this? I have to know so I never have to listen to it again. Found out it was the Lumineers.
It's a hate Shazam.
Oh, it's so. Oh yeah, exactly. Hate Shazam.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one. You gotta Shazam it.
Wow, what is that? Oh, do you like it? No, I hate it. It's the worst thing I've ever heard. Yeah, I know what to skip now. I don't even want to hear the opening seconds of it.
That's awesome.
It's the one that goes Hana 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 Hey Ho Hey Ho Hey, and then the foot stomps.
Yeah, there was that time during that period where like all you needed was a guitar, a bass, and then like just the kick drum.
Yeah.
And then just one guy standing there sometimes. I think that's what Mumford and Sons did.
Oh yeah,
they just had a guy.
Oh, they pioneered that sound. Yeah,
there, right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I think like part of his setup was just like
a kick drum. Yeah.
This, I'm just gonna kick this.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another one. We'll get back to that in a second. But here's the thing. We got to introduce this show. You guys need to have something to hang your hat on. Something like a hook, if you will.
Sure.
And that there being my name being Marco Dupa and this guy being the great and powerful Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
And tonight's brew being from Trippin' Animals.
Mm-hmm.
It's their Everhaze. And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? We got a little bit of stuff, but we're just going to kind of,
it's kind of a slow week.
Yeah,
we have those every once in a while.
You guys have been around. You know what's going on.
Yeah. If you want, send us a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about next week.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I like that. But as it stands, First and foremost, Jordan Peele has announced a movie that is not coming out for
quite
2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about, we love Jordan Peele here on the One Beer In podcast. So what we expect or what we're just hoping for as far as this new movie, because there's no details except for the date.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, speaking of movies, we're going to talk about yet another box office smash that's been thrown in our faces
every week. We get proven wrong.
Yeah.
And not just us, though.
True. Yeah.
There was a lot of doom and gloom from everybody who talks about movies.
Well, look, I still feel bad about the Furiosa situation. So the doom and gloom is still there, my friend.
I mean, okay. But
it deserved better.
It kind of starting to feel like, hey, that's just the way that some of these movies go.
It was a Garfield and Furiosa issue, apparently. And less a larger Hollywood box office issue.
Yeah.
Because apparently, Inside Out 2 is a smash success. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, we'll delve into some of the Nintendo Direct stuff. We talked about some of the stuff before, the rumors and some of the stuff that was announced. But now we finally got a Nintendo Direct that we can kind of sink our teeth into.
Yeah, a real meaty boy.
So let's get ripping, rocking, and rolling in the free world. This is episode 431 of the One Beer In podcast.
Does Gonzo's girlfriend chicken have a name?
I don't know. I don't even know if he's... Are they
going steady? Is it official?
Well, I don't know if he even knows that it's the same chicken every time he goes out to the... I wonder if Gonzo picks up a new chicken every time he goes out there.
He might. He might. I mean, I'm not smut shaming.
I mean, yeah, Gonzo does what he wants, man.
Gonzo gets what he wants.
That's their life. It's some tweet that went viral about how like Disney owns the rights to the Muppets.
Yeah,
they just won't use the Muppets for anything. They want to remake a bunch of stuff, and like, why don't you just remake it with the Muppets? And like, I miss some Muppet content, man. Just talking about the Muppets at work and how good the original Muppet Show is.
Oh,
you go back and rewatch it,
and the movies.
And the movie, I mean, the movies are classic. I was just rewatching some like classic episodes on there, and they're just it's just good, man. I don't know how you I don't know, it's just a weird thing to be like, these puppets really get it, man.
Well, and that's sort of the magic of the Muppets. Not to get too far down this stream, but Jim Henson famously treated the Muppets not as puppets, but as like their own characters and like actors, essentially. Yeah. So he didn't break kayfabe with the Muppets.
Yeah.
So that made it kind of special.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
All right. This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew, and we see where that one brew takes us. So let's see where this one brew takes us. And this one brew is Obi. Would you please tell the people what we're drinking tonight?
I would love to. This is the Tripping Animals Brewing Ever Haze. I got to be honest with you. The reason I got it was because of the big old gator.
Sick ass alligator on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the art.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there isn't much of a cold read on the can, but I will tell you what is on the can. It says Ever Haze, 7% ABV. Style is hazy India Pale Ale hopped with cashmere, citra, and amarillo. And it's from Doral Ave.
What?
No, Doral, Florida. I'm sorry, I'm reading sideways, so it's kind of hard. But yeah, it's from Doral, Florida. Tripping Animals.
Yeah.
I've had some of their beers in the past. Been pretty good in the past. Good track record. So another reason why I picked it up. Found it at Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's. Okay. Let's do this stuff. Okay. First and foremost, the Jordan Peele announcement. 10/26? 10/20 something. Well,
2026.
Yeah, 2026. Announcing a movie this early on is almost like it makes. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Put that on my calendar? Am I supposed to go into my iPhone and like set that in my phone and say like, oh man, I can't wait for the new Jordan Peele movie?
I will say I understand why they did this, and it's because Jordan Peele has, I guess, hit enough that people now anticipate his next thing this much.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he but that doesn't change the fact that like, what are we supposed to do with this information except for do what we're about to do, which is speculate on what is coming. There's nothing to do with that. It's like when artists still use the old school model of, oh, here's the first single from our album that's coming out 6 months from now. It's like, bro, Beyonce already broke this fucking system. There's you don't get to do that anymore.
You shouldn't do it anymore.
It's just not worth it.
We've talked about this in music especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it goes across every spectrum of media. It sucks to wait this long.
I think if you're going to be brave enough to try to subvert what people expect nowadays, then more power to you. But you have to be ready for the idea that, like, it might not work in your favor, you know?
Yeah. Especially without, like, even a title to speculate on. The date that was announced is October 23rd, 2026.
2026, okay.
Yeah, via Universal, which he's partnered with in the past.
I can't get that song out of my head.
I mean, it's a sticker.
It is. I'm looking up the. Sorry, I thought I'd be able to find it pretty quickly on the Wikipedia page, but I was looking up Idols. Yeah. Because I remember when we talked about it on the podcast, I think that it had to do with the fact that Idols had announced their album like 6 months before it had come out.
I mean, they were definitely brought up in the conversation because they had leaked. They're not leaked, but obviously they trickled out singles for like 8 months or something. Yeah. Which kind of sucked, but you know, I like the album. It's good.
Yeah. Idols scored UK. They got a #1 album with it in the UK. The band's. This was.
It's a beautiful feeling.
The band's new LP becomes their second #1 album after 2020's Ultra Mono, which is ironic because their older albums were better.
It's true.
The Bristol Quintet's 5th LP was released Friday. This is as of February 16th. It marks their second #1 album. 85% of its opening sales were in physical form. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow, yeah.
Good for them. 85% of their opening week sales were in physical format.
It's all us hipsters buying the vinyl.
Yeah. I can't buy new... Are they going to post the actual numbers, or are we just going to celebrate... What is the resource for shit like this? How do I even fucking look at this stuff up? Billboard, maybe? Billboard sales... Can I just go
Billboard
to Billboard?
Baby bumpers.
Can I just go to Bill? There should. Why isn't there?
Bon Jovi forever. #1.
New this week. Okay.
All right.
Is this a song or is this an album?
I think it's an album.
Top album sales.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi #1. Okay. All right, Bon Jovi.
Good job, John Bon Jovi.
Anyway,
but yes,
this is a discussion about the fact that like these things are being announced too soon, and I guess your fans are going to show up regardless. And I mean, as soon as the trailers come out for this new Jordan Peele movie, no matter what it is, it's going to do numbers. I guess my question is why even do this? Why start the speculation now? What do you even gain from this?
It does. I mean, other than this that we're doing right now, but yeah, it's too early. It's far too early. Like,
well, because there's no telling what's going to happen a year from now, 2 years from now.
Well, and not to mention, like, if the movie is 2 years out, there's nothing to show of it yet. You know, there's a script, I'm sure, hopefully.
Yeah.
But beyond that, there's nothing to see. There's nothing to share. So there's really nothing to hold on to.
Yeah.
It's like,
so, I mean, yeah, what do we even do with this information?
I mean, it's like, I won't lie, seeing the date excited me because I was like, oh, we're getting something new from Jordan Peele?
Yeah, the fact that he's even doing anything is...
But in all honesty, it took me all of 10 seconds to be like, well, yeah, I knew he was doing something else. Of course he was.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, it was like it was a mixed bag of emotions for me.
Yeah.
Seeing that. And I just don't see it. I don't see the real benefit of it, again, other than just to announce, which could have been a blip on Variety saying Jordan Peele announces working on a new project. Even giving like a 1 second like teaser as to what the idea is behind it. You know, you see that sometimes. But no, just a date in a spooky font.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, this is. I'm just. Have you ever just gone to the Billboard website?
I care far too little.
Well, that's
to do that.
I know, and that's the thing. I do too, and it's just really interesting because the Billboard website really will give you a look into how little you know about what's happening in commercial music right now. Because I mean, obviously Taylor Swift being at the top of the charts, we should probably talk about her little
kind of infamously
shit that she's been doing to stay on the top of the charts.
Yeah.
She's at number one. She's been at number one for 8 weeks. Hit Me Hard and Soft. Peaked at number 2.
Billie Eilish
was at number 3 last week. Is back at number 2. Brat, Charlie XCX.
Mm-hmm.
That you sang the praises for last week.
Did.
Peaked at number 3. So Taylor Swift took that.
Sherry hasn't stopped imitating Charlie XCX over the
past
past week.
Yeah. What's the thing?
You want it, gas.
No. What was the other thing you were saying? Huh? The other lyric from the album that you were stemming last week.
You wanted gas?
No, it wasn't that. It was something else.
That was it.
No, it was something else.
There's one other.
There was a different one. There was another one.
360? No, I don't.
Oh man, what was it?
From Charlie XCX?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, keep thinking. You sit over there and you keep thinking.
Guess has been the big one.
You wanna gas?
Morgan Wallen. He peaked at number 1 last week. He was number 4. He's back at number 4. He has spent 67 weeks on the charts. This is just really interesting. It's just
that's wild.
He has
67 weeks.
Look at this. One thing at a time is at number 4. Then Dangerous, his album from forever ago, is back in the top 10.
179 weeks on the charts.
Noah Kahan. People have been like going crazy for this dude. Never heard a lyric of his music.
Yeah,
he's in the top 10. Shabuzi, this dude. Where I've Been Isn't Where I'm Going. His album. I've seen some stuff from this dude. My cousin was showing me some shit from this guy, and I was like, "Hey man, that sucks."
What kind of music?
It's like country music. He's like it's like this
Shabuzi.
guy who. Hold on, I'm clicking on the album just to make sure that I'm not speaking out of. Hold on, let me make sure that it's the guy that I'm thinking about, because he showed me some song and I was like, this fucking sucks. Yeah, this is the dude. So it's like country music, it's like hip hop, country, it's like all these genres kind of smashed together.
Okay,
and it's like, hey man, I don't care that it's like a good-looking black dude who's making this music. It sounds like Florida Georgia Line. It sucks. This fucking music sucks.
Yeah.
And then Chappelle Roan.
Yeah.
Rounding out the top 10.
Chapel.
Dave Chappelle Roan.
Dave Chappelle Roan.
Chapel Roan. Sorry. I'm going to be honest with you. I've only ever seen her name written down. I've never actually heard it. So that's why I pronounce it that way.
Stick around here long enough, and Sherry will surely show you some Chapel Roan.
Yeah.
That's the other girly.
Actually, I think Andy might have brought up Chapel Roan before. And I think in my mind,
you just don't listen.
didn't don't say stuff like that out loud.
Andy, he doesn't listen.
I listen. Chapel Roan. Anyway, sorry. I just thought it was interesting to look at the Billboard Top 10 because it's that stuff that you see in commercials and you see people talking about it, but I don't know. I feel so far removed from shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, especially at our old age,
our advanced age,
we tend to get in a bit of an echo chamber, especially with music. So
yeah.
Well,
there's a guy named Brian Miller, B.Dot, who always posts his top 10 rappers. He does like a mid-year list and then like a year
end of the year, yeah.
And it's become this big to do whenever he posts his list of rappers. Actually, let me bring this up. B.Dot Miller rapper. I like that age. Everyone is always so concerned about like, well, how old is
this guy?
B.Dot Miller rapper list. He always posts on Twitter. And let's see.
At B.TM.
B.TM. I mean, a respected voice in hip hop, but also people are like, "Fuck this guy." Whenever he posts a weird list.
Who does he write for? Other than himself, obviously.
I think he writes for 2022. What is this? What is this, like highlights? Jesus Christ. Okay.
You're having a bad time.
I mean, I'm just
right
really
now.
like hold on. Give me 2 seconds.
Okay.
Because I'm wondering. I have a theory, and I'm wondering if my theory is right. And it is. Okay.
Okay. You see something different if you're not logged in?
Okay. So I don't know if this is a thing that they're purposefully doing, or if it's just like a glitch that's happening on my end. And if it is, maybe you guys can correct me. But I go to this guy's Twitter profile, and I can see his pinned tweet. And then the most recent tweet that I can see is from 2022. And that's because I'm not logged in on my laptop. I go to my computer, I go to my phone, and obviously all of his tweets are up to date. This one's from 33 minutes ago. He's at the Kendrick Lamar show, which is, by the way, he's doing the Pop Out and Friends thing. If they're doing that on purpose, you know how, like, that's so conniving.
I mean, don't get me started on the autoplay videos.
Oh, dude. Oh, my God.
What's going on?
Autoplay video. I mean, he's just, I mean, it's like a guy who doesn't know what's going on. He just keeps tinkering and, like, throwing wrenches
It's
at
like
stuff.
a gremlin got in the system.
Yeah.
And just started messing stuff up.
All right. So this is B.Dot's top 10 rappers of 2024 so far. Kendrick Lamar is number 1. Drake is number 2. And this is obviously because of the beef and everything that we've talked about. Their back and forth probably propelled them to the top of this guy's list.
Sure.
Now, I'll just say this is, according to him, based on skill, performance, and presence. Okay? Future, number 3. J. Cole, number 4. J.I.D., number 5. Lil Wayne at 6. Benny the Butcher at 7. 8. Schoolboy Q. 9. Key Glock. 10. Glorilla. So, as a person as myself who listens to like a lot of hip hop, I look at that list and I'm like, all right, well, Mac Hami just put out an album. Crime Apple just put out 2 albums this year. You know, Your Old Droog is about to put out an album. He's dropped some like crazy singles. I mean, there's just like, I look at that and I'm just like, I mean, Lil Wayne hasn't put out.
That was the one that really stuck out to me. Because everyone else, pretty much,
Yeah.
has been topical at least.
Yeah.
You know, like, but Lil Wayne's only been on features, from
Ben-
my understanding.
I haven't listened to the new Benny the Butcher album, but I saw a lot of people going like, Benny the Butcher is, everybody loves Benny, but his latest album was not that good.
It's not.
Conway just put out an album. Didn't get no love for that on this list. Ghostface Killer just put out an album.
Yeah.
No love on this list. And he's not even basing it on... If he was like, this is based on sales and influence and yada, 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 that'd be fine. He's basing it on skills, performance, and presence. So just based on skills and performance, you're leaving a lot of food on the table.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's just... It's interesting when you try to keep your finger on the pulse of some of this stuff.
There's too much to pay attention to. There's no way.
Yeah.
That's why everyone does kind of like focus in on one thing that they really like or that they choose to focus. Not even that they like. Sometimes it's just what they want to focus on.
Yeah.
And even if they hate it, they're just focusing on it and talking crap about it the entire time because that's their thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's really the point that I'm trying to make with all of this is that, like, the way that media is disseminated at this point has gotten us to where we're like, you just focus on the thing that you dig. It's just really hard because you realize there's this huge world outside of the echo chamber that you've created for yourself. And when you open up the door a little bit, sometimes you look around and you're like, oh, that's what everybody's digging right now.
Yeah.
Especially with pop music. With the rap thing, like all those names I get, I'm like, okay, I get why you put them on there. I don't agree, but I get why you put them on there. But with like pop and just what's going on, fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. When I see, I've seen all these people getting upset about Sabrina Carpenter and the fact that they feel like Spotify is forcing you to listen to her music. And to that I say, stop using Spotify. But also...
Never.
I mean, it's just... It's what do you expect? What do you expect? Did you really think that these things weren't going to become these basically, like, payola criminal enterprises?
Yeah, I mean, it's the natural progression of any system, really.
Yeah.
Under capitalism, it's just whoever pays the highest dollar gets the most praise, gets the most... eyes on their product.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, there was accusing Kendrick of using bots.
Yeah, I saw that.
To bump up the numbers of Not Like Us, and to, I guess, go in and dislike the Drake videos and songs.
I don't know if I buy it.
I don't buy it.
I mean, even if that is true, which I don't think it is, like, you don't think there was enough organic hate and love going both ways?
Yeah, I think...
It caught lightning in a bottle for a moment there, like...
Yeah. I don't think you can replicate the kind of energy that was going on when that song came out. And to say that it was... Some people have jumped on and been like, well, obviously it's artificial. That's how these things work nowadays. And I don't know. Maybe because we're not... in those industries, maybe this is commonplace. Maybe this is something that labels don't even think. Maybe they just do it.
Yeah.
Because any normal person can pay. I get emails all the time just because my Instagram page is a public music page. I get emails all the time from these companies that are like, pay us X amount of dollars and we'll get you views and we'll get you plays. And
we get for the podcast sometimes too.
Yeah. And maybe it's just so commonplace that nobody even thinks about it.
Could be.
I don't know. It just seems to go against the virtues of what an artist like Kendrick Lamar would represent. Yeah.
I mean, we like to think so because we're both Kendrick fans.
Yeah.
But
who knows?
Yeah. I mean, that could happen. But I don't care because the content that was made me happy.
Yeah, the song itself, like, I don't care how many bots had to drive those numbers up.
I was entertained.
The song itself was good.
I was entertained.
Everything that was going on was fun.
Yeah. So, who cares?
I don't buy it though. Because you have to know that it's going to come out eventually. right? You have to think that people, with the way that this beef has gone,
Yeah.
exposing all of this stuff, part of the whole beef was who could expose more about the other person. You just have to think that it was going to come out. And also, the guy who says he got these, who said he set up all these bots, he said he charged them $2,500. You telling me he went to one of the biggest labels in music and was like, give me the down payment on a used Ford Focus,
Right.
and I'll drive 50 million plays up on it. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
He could have that low of a self-worth, but
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know.
Lowballed.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe we should speculate on the Jordan Peele movie.
Okay.
That's where this all started.
Yeah. So, what do we want from the new Jordan Peele movie? More than anything, I just want him to do what he wants to do. He's proven himself to be I hesitate to say, but I will still say, an auteur of modern horror.
You didn't
especially.
hesitate at all.
You know, I did for a split second there, but then I remembered. I, at very least, really like all of his movies.
Yeah.
Everything he's come out with so far.
Yeah.
Has done something for me.
I do really like seeing the current reevaluation of Nope.
Which I don't understand what didn't click for people the first time. Like, from first watch. Like, I think it is... it's close to being a modern masterpiece. Gonna need some more time to evaluate it over time. But I love it. I think it's one of his best movies, period.
Yeah.
Like, shot, directed, acted, put together. It's so big. It feels like his Spielberg movie. I love it. Yeah. I'm glad people are finally coming around to it. Which, because that's the most recent thing he's done, makes me want Universal, which I'm pretty sure they have, hand over the keys and all the money he needs to do whatever he wants to do. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It's like you're fighting me with this. You pull it closer every time.
So sorry. I get excited. But yeah, no, I really know that's a cop-out answer, but I just want him to do whatever he wants to do. I kind of want to see what he can do outside of horror at this point. I think he proved his chops with Nope to be competent at action and suspense, obviously. So maybe make, a bombastic Michael Bay-esque action movie with some kind of heart to it, some kind of commentary that goes beyond the usual surface level stuff that we see out of Hollywood so often.
Yeah, I mean, there's no artists, there's no directors, writer directors who are. I don't know how many are considered great, like masters, who just stuck to one genre.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I do think that to kind of surpass the idea of the new Jordan Peele movie is going to be a horror movie, and like how is he going to use horror as a metaphor for something else this time? To be able to surpass that, he's going to definitely have to just make a different genre movie.
Yeah.
Unless he just wants to be considered a horror auteur,
which is great.
Yeah, that's fine.
And at the same time,
kind of limiting.
Yes and no, because he himself has proven that the genre has legs, and you can take it in a lot of different directions. So
but if you watch his stuff combined with Key and Peele, you just know that there's more out there for him.
Sure.
Even maybe a reunion with Key.
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key would be very cool.
Sure.
I think people would be like, it's a little on the nose, but Keegan is a good actor.
Yeah.
He's a good actor.
He is.
And I think that he could do, I don't know, man. I think maybe Jordan is like, maybe he's like, I can't have him in these movies just yet because then people would be like, oh, it's a Key and Peele movie.
And you can tell he's fought so hard to get himself his own kind of flowers.
Yeah.
Outside of the duo.
Yeah, he's definitely distanced himself from the show.
Right.
And
Which
from being in a comedy duo.
I think makes sense given the work he's been doing. But that's the thing is, like, I feel like comedy and horror are two genres that don't get enough respect.
Yeah.
Critically, especially. So if he wants to be the former comedic writer and actor, now horror auteur, who is bringing something different to the table and bringing certain gravitas to the horror genre that has already been growing over the years.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, A24 says it alone.
I think we talked about that at length.
Yeah.
The horror genre where it's at right now.
Sure. I mean, there's
a
obviously
wonderful place.
there's obviously trash out there still because it's
Always gonna be.
It's one of those cash-in genres like the Ouija movie that came out.
What movie?
Excuse me, Ouija. I said Ouija.
The Luigi.
The Luigi.
Movie? Oh, the game, the Ouija game. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Don't look at me like I'm an idiot.
You said Ouija, and I'm like, what?
The Ouija board.
Okay, hold on though.
No, I'm sorry. It wasn't the Ouija board movie. It was the tarot card movie that came out recently.
I don't even know.
It
what
was
that
called
is.
Tarot, and it apparently was garbage.
Okay,
But
because I was gonna say the first Ouija movie was actually pretty scary. I watched it by myself, and it was kind of fucking
I actually
scary.
heard. I think Ouija Part 2 was actually really good.
Yeah.
So
Okay. All right.
you know, let me walk that back a little bit.
Yeah.
The Tarot movie that just came out recently is a perfect example of the slop that they still feed horror fans.
Yeah.
Because it still made money.
Yeah.
So they can make it dirt cheap with no-name actors.
Yep.
Barely a script, and go, here you go, pigs, eat.
Here you go, pigs.
Enjoy.
Yeah, we
you
just
know.
watched Abigail the other night.
The first one?
No, the
Abigail Comes Home.
no the very recent vampire movie that just came out.
Oh,
little girl.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's sitting at like an 80-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. I disagree. Don't think it was that good. But I mean, at least it was. Excuse me. It was filled with like a bunch of C-level actors, except for Giancarlo Esposito, who is
Of course
up here. And it was just I don't know. There's some parts of it where I don't really know what they were trying to go for with it. It was really. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was entertaining, but
I heard there are good moments in it.
there's some good kills.
Yeah.
And there's some like genuinely funny moments in it.
Yeah.
And it was entertaining. So I guess that's all you can really ask for.
Sure,
But I think
yeah.
it was a dumb movie. The twist wasn't.
Well, the twist was spoiled from, Jump Street.
Dude. I don't understand the marketing of this movie.
They gave up on it.
When
That's
you
what it was.
watch it, it's clear that that's supposed to be the because there's multiple twists in the movie.
Yeah.
It's clear that the first twist is supposed to be that Abigail is the one actually killing people. But the marketing was very clear that like when you watch it after watching the trailer, which is what normal people usually do.
Sure.
You're going, well, when is she going to turn into a monster? That's all
Just
we're
waiting for it to happen, yeah.
And so it's like, what am I supposed to? Yeah. So from the jump, you're already kind of behind the 8 ball of like, well, I'm just waiting for, and you don't want to go into a movie. That's why, like with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie that's coming out, the marketing of this has been just so like, I really, really hope that there's more story to tell.
Yeah.
Because as it stands, it really just looks like 2.5 hours of these guys just making out with each other. It's like, yeah, man, all right, cool. That's the marketing, is like how gay can these posters be? That's really
not even gay. It's like gay teasing.
Yeah.
It's not it's not even going to pay off in any way.
Yeah.
It's just
like
funny,
it's
right?
funny that they're dancing with each
is
other,
kind
right? They're
of-
holding hands, and that's the whole bit.
In the year of our Lord 2024, is that not a little, Inappropriate?
I mean, yeah, I mean, inappropriate and also just lazy at this point. Like, the joke is...
Like, offensive in a bad way, you know?
Offensive in a lazy way. Offensive
That's
in
what
like
I mean.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's just
if
like,
you're
it's
going to
not
be
even...
offensive, at least be offensive.
Right,
really.
right. You're not even like...
It's like early 2000s offensive.
Right.
Haha, gay.
Yeah. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just edgy for edgelord's sake.
Sure.
And it's like, dude, that's not even like an edgy thing anymore. No. I don't know. So I'm hoping that with the marketing of that movie, that there is more story to tell, because I don't know, man. Like, I'll go see it. I'll definitely go see it, because, like, as exhausting as superhero movies have become, these are still two of my favorite comic book characters.
Yeah.
And Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Sorry, man, but I want to see him in that fucking blue and yellow, man. I want to see it. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I watched all the X-Men movies. I watched Logan.
Yep.
We fucking deserve this. As fans
We do.
of Hugh Jackman, as fans of Wolverine the character, we fucking deserve to finally see him in that costume. So
As God intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm excited for that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm a little excited for it.
yeah.
Like I said last week, it's probably gonna be a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm still excited for it. I still want to see it. Yeah. Any hooser, what do you want from the next Jordan Peele movie?
I think if he's gonna stay in the horror genre, I want him to do something completely different from what he's done so far. And he's Nope was really different from the first. I think Get Out and Us were very similar in the not very similar, but they kind of towed the same lines.
Yeah.
As far as identity and society and like the racial questions that it was posing and
Economic.
and the economic questions that it was posing, the things that it was like
Things
trying
that
to
divide
address.
us.
Yeah. I think that Get Out and Us were pretty similar in those regards.
Sure.
So the conversation, I guess, that you're having around Get Out and Us is a similar conversation, I think. Nope goes into a different thing with like Hollywood exploitation. Again, still this racial slant to it. And you can use Nope to kind of branch off into another direction of this kind of similar conversation that I think Jordan is trying to have with Hollywood.
Yeah.
And
you know what? I think what Nope did was show that he could do something without there being a front and center like social message other than it being exploitation.
Right.
Because people were starting to try to like pin him down as this like almost social justice warrior-esque. Oh, there needs to be like some analogy here. There needs to be some like heavy-handed lesson to be learned. And there is in Nope, but it has nothing to do with race, in my opinion.
Well, it does.
How so?
I mean, the exploitation of black folks in early Hollywood,
yes, but that is a stepping stone to talk more about exploitation of Hollywood in general.
Yeah.
The fact that it's told from a black perspective doesn't make it a quote-unquote black movie, you know? And I feel like people were starting to try to pin him down as a black movie director.
Right, making movies about like black
black experience, quote-unquote. And it's
but then again, like, I don't think Jordan would care. I think that he does. He has said
as
himself,
much.
yeah, he's like, I'm centering black stories and black actors on purpose because they don't get centered in the way that I feel like they should. So
inherently, that is a thing. But I think Nope showed to the wider audience that was skeptical about that he could make spectacle and he could make a movie that wasn't like the full focus of it wasn't on race. It was about something completely different than that. It was a commentary on something larger than that.
Yeah.
To a galactic scale, about exploitation, about nature, like that has more to do with it than race, really. So short plays into the experience of the characters in the movie, but I think that was a purposeful kind of spit in the eye of people who were trying to pin him down as one thing or another, or saying like he can only do this one thing, or it's too heavy-handed with the whatever, the people who would complain about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But also, I'm forcing you to have protagonists who are black.
Yeah.
And not question it.
Yeah.
And it not be a thing, like.
Yeah.
I just. He's so smart. Freaking smart.
I think more and more, if you can start to do this with these big franchises and not have it be a thing, like people who don't want to have these conversations, the first way that you get over these conversations is to just let these things happen and you not have these conversations, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, for example, The Acolyte. Oh. I can't really delve into everything surrounding the show because, like, I haven't watched it yet, so I can't give an opinion on the quality of it and everything.
Yeah.
But as far as its perception, as far as the things that I've read about it, it just feels like it feels like there's this huge portion of people who, no matter what you do at this point in 2024, there's literally nothing that you can do that will stop people from having something to say if it's not white men,
or hot chicks
or hot women.
Yeah.
But those hot women have to be damsels in distress or supporting characters. They can't be the main character, because if they are, they're a Mary Sue.
Sure.
And the thing is, it's really frustrating to every time you see a person of color or a woman as the main character that you have to keep having these conversations about, like,
or the conversation has even moved to you can't have a fat Jedi.
Yeah, now
you see that conversation?
Yeah, I saw that. And then I saw somebody quote it with Sammo Hung, just going crazy, and it's like, yeah, man, are we really having this conversation? They can't even be fat. The Force is a thing that you are in tune with in the universe. You don't need to be you don't even need to be a body. Force ghosts don't even have an actual body. If you guys understood Star Wars the way you pretend to understand it,
I would like to.
Yoda is 3 feet tall.
I would like to theorize here. If you got a bigger body, you can hold more midichlorians. That's all I'm saying.
You're just swimming in them.
Yeah.
It's so a big pool of midichlorians.
I'm sorry, I got a midichlorian gut.
I think that whole conversation is so ridiculous, and yeah, man, it just becomes frustrating because, like, you see people go, oh, don't race switch these characters, create your own characters. Then when these companies create their own characters, it's like, well, why is there so many fucking black people? Why are there women? Why are there lesbians? Why are the bubble? And it's like, we're doing what you asked, and then it's the real thing is, don't come into the genre that I love. Create your own genre. But then when you create your own thing, then it's like, oh, they're pushing the gay agenda. They're pushing this racial thing.
Stop shoving it in our face.
And it just keeps going. So when you have somebody like Jordan Peele who's like, I'm going to make a movie so good that you just have to acknowledge the fact that these conversations are being had. Whether you like it or not, this is it. This is the situation. And guess what? The stars of these movies are going to be black people.
Yeah.
You just have to deal with that, to the point that it becomes normalized that you don't even have to think about it or talk about it. And that's the only way you're going to get to a point where these people who are like, I don't see race. The only way you're going to really get to a point where you don't see race, I don't think you ever can get to that point, but
I don't think it's good to get to that point.
No,
I think it is always important to acknowledge someone's differences.
Right. But if you want to get to a point where you don't have these conversations about race, then you need to stop having these conversations. I think the onus is on the people who all the time, look at every time something like this comes out, you see all these fucking racists who post YouTube videos and have these think pieces about this stuff.
Yeah.
The people on the other side of the aisle aren't going, look at the black people that we put in this show. Look at the gay people that we put in this show. They're just in the show.
Look at all the black people. Ha ha.
Like,
Who? Nobody does that.
no one does that except for other people. Except for the people who. It's always the people who don't want to talk about this stuff, who are like, let me film.
Stay ignorant.
Yeah, and let me do an hour-long YouTube video about why this is woke hive mind virus bullshit. And it's
Right.
like, well, listen, man, you're the one having this. Like, it's just a black person.
Yeah.
They're just the star of the show. Is that like
those people exist, and they can exist in your fantasy worlds
yeah,
too.
Yeah,
They could be predominant in your fantasy worlds. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Crazy.
So I don't know. Maybe Jordan Peele makes a slasher movie. That's
That'd be cool.
Go all
I
the
would
way
like
back.
that. I would like an
Maybe he
80s
makes a
style
slasher
slasher movie. Yeah.
yeah.
But with a twist. With a twist.
Anyway, this is sure to get downvoted to hell.
It's fine.
So
It's fine. We're okay.
let's talk about other things that racists and misogynists don't want to talk about. Pixar and Disney
Feelings.
and feelings. Inside Out 2 has been released to tremendous success. It currently holds a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has done, as of June 18th, $380 million worldwide.
Absolute gangbusters.
So here we are again having this conversation about like what really is the issue at the box office and at theaters. Because, I mean,
Yana.
please.
I did say.
All right.
I did say
Uh-huh.
that the fact that Bad Boys broke through, and we did talk about the early success of Planet of the Apes. The fact that Bad Boys broke through, though, I think was the teeter-totter going the other way. And it has now led to people coming back in full swing to the theaters.
Thank you, Will Smith.
Thank you, Will Smith and Martin. But, you know, I hadn't thought about this until this very moment. If Furiosa were to have come out later in the summer, would it have been more successful?
Okay, now let me piggyback off of that question and ask another question.
Okay.
Do you think that the fact that we are having these conversations is also facilitating people going to the theater more? I mean, obviously, a family of 5 is not on Twitter going, well, we should save the theater industry by going to see.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I did my part.
But I wonder if people are being influenced to go to the theater because the conversation has been centered around the downfall of theaters. Because I feel like that happens sometimes where these conversations that people think are just Twitter conversations kind of start to influence the real world a little bit.
Well, you know what I think it is, actually. I think it is...
I would love to know what you think it is.
I think it has more to do with people now being conditioned into knowing that their movie that they had any interest in seeing may not be there 2 weeks from the day it comes out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I think people who, you know, with kids, especially with something like Inside Out 2, are like, hey, you kids want to go see Inside Out 2? You loved Inside Out 1, didn't you? Yeah! And so they go opening weekend expecting that, you know, if we don't go opening weekend, we're going to miss out. Yeah. We're going to have to wait a couple months until it comes out Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably more of that trend as opposed to people actually being altruistic and trying to save an industry.
I don't know if
except for nerds, you know,
I don't think anybody's intentionally, except for fucking dorks.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's intentionally leaving their house to save the industry, but I do think that there is a sort of subconscious idea of you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, you just go online and you see all of this doom and gloom about the movie industry, and then when a movie comes out, you're like, maybe I'll go see it in theaters. I don't know. I don't know what's driving me to leave my house, but I kind of feel like there is this malevolent force that is moving me out of my home and into a theater.
Yeah.
I do think I consciously go to the theater to say, like, all right, I mean, you know, I'm going to the theater. I want to see it. I want to have the theater experience.
Sure.
And I wonder how many people are doing the same thing of seeing a movie that's come out and going, I want to support that. Because I guess when I was younger, I never thought about going to the theater as supporting a movie. I always thought about it as just going to see a movie. I never thought that my ticket purchase made a difference, I guess.
Yeah.
So it was never in my mind, or I was never motivated by saying to studios and the industry, this movie deserves to be in theaters.
Being an active participant.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. I always just viewed it as like, I'm going to, because I want to experience the movie in the theater as opposed to at home. But now I know there's a part of me that sees movies and says, I'm doing this partly because I want to see this movie in theater, partly because I think it's a good time, it's a good night out, and partly because I want to show the industry that these movies deserve to be in the theater longer. And I hope that I'm contributing towards that box office.
Yeah.
Which I never thought about it that way before.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's not a charity, obviously, but it's
right.
You know, it is something that, like, it's in the same way that, like, I will buy the movie in 4K if I want to support it when it comes out.
Right.
I will buy the vinyl release of something if I really loved the album. You know, et cetera, et cetera. I will buy the indie game as opposed to just watching a playthrough of it on YouTube. Because sorry,
Jesus
one
Christ.
step too far.
Wow. I mean,
Oof. I mean, not to guilt you or anything,
that?
but
attacked.
But yeah, I mean, like something like a game like Indica, that was my Cheers of the Week. It was like $20 or $30.
And then I started seeing trailers for that.
Yeah, there you go.
My devices are all listening.
There you go.
By the way, I don't watch indie games. I watch big budget, billion-dollar games.
Sure.
So just so you know.
Yeah, tell it to the court.
It's just mostly horror games because I don't want to play them. I want to watch them.
I know. I'm proud of you for braving through Dead Space.
Yeah. Thank you. I think I deserve a little bit of credit for that. I actually played that game all the way through, beat it.
It's one of the spookiest games of all time.
Horrifying as it is.
Definitely one of the spookiest games of all time.
Scary.
I haven't played Remake, but I can only imagine.
We're working through Remake right now, and it's still just as scary.
Yeah.
There's moments where I'm like, I know what's about to happen, and it still happens, and I'm like, God damn it!
Of course.
Yeah.
Gives you the tingles.
It's a little tingly.
Yeah.
A little tingly.
Yeah.
Have you fucked with any of like back rooms or any of like those like indie?
Not back rooms. I did play this one called Pool.
Oh yeah.
But I got lost. I was like, this isn't scary anymore. I just don't know where to go.
That's really funny, right? When the video game kind of like reveals itself to be a video game, and you're like, this is poorly designed. I don't know where to go anymore.
I have no
I'm just
idea,
confused,
man.
and now I'm frustrated. I'm not even scared anymore. I'm just angry.
Yeah, that's where I got on that game. I'm like, I'm gonna leave you unplayed for a little bit until I can jump back into this fresh because I'm getting frustrated now.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It seems cool. Pool is cool.
Pool is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I just want a little update for you guys from last week. I didn't realize that Like a Dragon. Adam explained to me.
You explain. I'm gonna go pee pee time.
Okay. Adam explained to me. Should I play it in the background while I'm talking?
Yeah. Why not?
Adam explained to me that Like a Dragon was okay. So if you guys are unaware, Yakuza is kind of a frowned upon thing in Japan. So in Japan, they named their game Like a Dragon. In America, we're like, fuck that cultural bullshit. So we're like, it's called Yakuza. Yakuza Like a Dragon was the first time that worldwide they used that naming convention. And it also was the first time that they changed the game into a JRPG, which is a turn-based Japanese RPG, a turn-based action RPG. Now, going forward, the game is called Like a Dragon. And I didn't know when I got the game that I talked about last week that it was going to be a turn-based game. And if you've been listening to this podcast for a while, you may know that I fucking hate turn-based games. So I haven't played it yet, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm going to play it. So I might delve in, and we'll see like how far we can get into the game before I get really frustrated with the idea of it being turn-based. We'll find out. Well, you wanna smoke a little? Little.
Brought to you by Tums. Your tummy hurt.
You gonna throw up again? Pussy.
Oh. You might need to bleep that.
Why?
In our year 2024.
We're an hour in. Why would I need to bleep that?
I'm just scared.
You can say pussy, right? Why can't you say pussy? Pussy? What if I'm talking about The Sopranos? Big pussy
Well, that's big pussy. That's different.
and Lil Pussy,
Yeah.
right? That's a name.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Could be talking about Pussycat.
Pussycat.
Yeah.
You know.
What's new, Pussycat?
Whoa,
Whoa. Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, it's good. Josie and the Pussycats. Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was trying to think of the
I love that.
I was trying to think of the 007 movie, but I realized it was Austin Powers.
Octopussy.
Octopussy.
That's the 007 movie.
I was thinking Pussy Galore.
Yeah.
in
Pussy
Austin
Galore.
Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's an actual
Octopussy.
007 movie called Octopussy,
Octopussy, yeah.
and everyone was like, totally.
Yeah, that's fine, right?
That's great.
Hey
Who
guys,
cares?
that's fine,
Yeah.
right?
That's good. That's
Okay.
fine.
All
Fine
right.
with me. Been rewatching the 007 movies actually. to
Really?
Bring that up. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they're not just the Daniel Craig ones right now.
Oh, okay.
I did rewatch some Roger Moore ones just randomly, but not. I haven't gone back and like rewatched all of the. Because I don't know. I mean, I think as big of the franchise as I am, I don't know how much I need to go back and rewatch like all of the. I mean, the Sean Connery ones,
Yeah.
absolutely. The
Yep.
Pierce Brosnan ones are dumb fun. The not Roger Moore, but fuck the other guy. Huh? Timothy Dalton.
Timothy
Yes.
Dalton, yeah.
Thank you.
Wow, great call.
Yeah. How did you pull?
Oh,
Fuck
God.
yeah, dude.
I never knew that. You never told me
Dude, she
that.
pulled Timothy Dalton like
Wow.
hell yeah, dude. Yeah.
Count me impressed.
Yeah.
Oh.
But really, I mean, at the end of the day, call me a simpleton, but the Daniel Craig movies, they're just the most fun, most entertaining, most
Yeah.
compelling
Well,
to watch.
they're the best movies.
Yeah. I don't know why anybody even pretends like the movies from the 70s are as good as the Daniel Craig movies.
Yeah.
Like after a while, when people are like, Skyfall's not that good, I'm like, I don't even know how to have a conversation with you. Casino Royale is one of the best spy movies ever made.
That's
Quantum
what.
of Solace is okay. Skyfall is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, Spectre's amazing, and No Time to Die. What a way to send him off.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know how to even have a conversation with people who don't have.
You know
this
what?
opinion.
You know what's weird though. You know what's weird for me personally. I think all of them are really, really good, but there's something about all of them except for Casino Royale, which I think is the best James Bond movie ever made.
I agree.
There's something about each one of those movies that messes it up for me a little bit.
In what way?
Whether it's like a storyline, like kind of left in the wind.
So each one of them have a mistake.
There is a miss within them. Whether it could be something minor too, but it just whether it's pacing or it's a certain plot thread that doesn't resolve in like a satisfying way, or I mean, for No Time to Die, like I understand, like that's an interesting one because a lot of people complain that it's not really a James Bond movie anymore. Like, it becomes something else, which I kind of agree with.
I don't even know what that means.
It doesn't have the tenets of a Bond film. It doesn't feel like a Bond film, especially towards the end.
Well, because it's gone beyond that. We have to like capitalize. We have to climax the story. We have to end it.
Right, which I agree with, and I
none of the other Bond movies ever felt the need to end the. Yeah, they just kept going
to finish the story.
Yeah. So okay, all right. So to that I say, I get that. I agree. That does make sense now that you say that, because the entire idea of Bond is the fact that like it'll just keep going no matter what generation.
And there's always a wink and a nod and like a little smile at the end, and it's a little sexy, a little dangerous, a little fun. It's a good time. It's supposed to be fun.
So when you go in the direction that No Time to Die went and how dark it went,
you're like, whoa,
you're like, Jesus Christ. And then when it ends and you're like, okay, this is the end of this guy's story. Okay, now you are okay. All right. Let's do okay. Now you're saying, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
You are now saying that, or at least, I guess the question is posed: is Daniel Craig 007, or is 007 a code name that is given to agents that are of the caliber of all the other agents, right?
Yeah.
Because that's always been the fun thing to talk about is the story just this fun, like loose thing, like Mad Max, where you're like, is it just the mythology? Is this a fun, loose thing?
Or like Batman.
Batman. Like, is it just a Batman story? Is it one guy, or is it always just like, it's just Batman?
We know the tenets of the story, so we can easily jump in without having to see, Martha Wayne get shot.
But I think that the thing is with Daniel Craig's Batman, Daniel Craig's 007 has always been a story that has delved deeper than just being a spy. Like,
for sure.
The rest of them have always been like, all right, he's 007, he has the gadgets, he gets the girl, blah, 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 blah.
However, I will say that the Daniel Craig ones played a little fast and loose with style and with their universe, because a lot of it was very grounded, like a speaking of Batman, like a Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, But some of those movies get a little wacky.
They do get wacky,
and we get a little 007-y. And
and then you're supposed to go, okay, that part was believable, but this part?
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of my biggest issue with Daniel Craig's run, which I still think is the greatest run of all time of 007.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think putting them all together, it is an incredible run. I think he did fantastic. I think generally, they did a great job with his run as 007. But I do think there are some missed opportunities there to really make it feel like this coherent, cohesive thing that's really grounded and taken seriously.
Yeah.
But James Bond inherently is the suave, debonair guy, so there's fun to be had there. But I feel like they kind of took that a little too far. In certain movies of his.
Well, there's definitely moments in the franchise where he's just like, I've lost my keys. Come find him for me, and then he just has sex.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, that's it. That's all he needed to do. Right. Damn, wow. You know where I think they messed up? Judi Dench.
Dame Judi.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Dame Judi Dench. Mm-hmm. Having her be M in the Pierce Brosnan movies and the Daniel Craig movies really fucks up the timeline. Because now you're like, all right, what are you trying to tell us? Because they're never upfront about what they're trying to say. But casting her in both movies, or both franchises rather, really tells us that, to me, okay, I'll just say this. As a 007 fan, I will say that my headcanon has always been 007 and James Bond is a code name.
And that makes most sense.
That's how I've always looked at it.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
So whenever they and that's why, partly because I'm half black, but partly because of my headcanon of 007 is why I'm like, Idris Elba could perfectly be, he doesn't have to be blonde-haired, blue-eyed,
No.
or brunette, brown-eyed Sean Connery. Why does he even need to be British? I mean, well, he does need to be British because he's MI6. He does need to be British.
Yeah.
But any other characteristic of him doesn't matter as long as he is good enough as an agent to earn the rank of 007. That's always been my headcanon.
For my headcanon has been that obviously the 00 program is a thing. That is canon.
They already make that fact.
That is a thing.
There's 006s and 005. Like that is a thing.
The Sean Bean.
Right.
But guess what happens to him?
Yeah.
But my headcanon has been that the 007 nomenclature has been reserved for the most troublesome of agents. That those are the guys that aren't from the upper crust, that aren't from these like high class Ivy League trained guys that are looking to be in special forces. It's more from these guys like from the seedy side of London who, have been rough and tumble and then get offered this opportunity to straighten out and do something with themselves.
Yeah.
In the way like
I want to be an agent.
Right.
I love to be an agent.
In the way that like the Kingsman has done, right?
Yeah.
So which is obviously
what if they
highly influenced by that.
What's his name? The actor in Kingsman.
Oh.
Not Colin Firth, but Taron Egerton.
Yes.
Edgerton? Is
Edgerton.
it a soft G? Edgerton. Taron Egerton.
I think it's Edgerton.
It's Edgerton.
Excuse us.
Yeah, he would have been good. I mean, I guess he already did Kingsman, so you can't.
He's got his own thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's been my read on it, is like this guy who's been kind of reformed but not fully, and that's what makes him so interesting, because he doesn't fit in with that agency. He doesn't fit in with MI6.
Yeah.
He's the rogue guy.
He's also a borderline sociopath.
Yeah, sure, but that's what also makes him so good. And in past 007s, we haven't cared about his like internal monologue and like him processing these traumas and why he's a womanizer, why he's this guy that's a bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah.
And that's changed with the more recent 007s. So we've kind of opened that door, which leads it to a lot of interesting places. But I think the 007 association should be with someone who's a little bit on the fringe.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit in. That is, a little sketchy. You need a little bit of danger there, because otherwise it's boring.
Yeah.
Who wants to see just, a regular old spy agent who's dry and doesn't care about schmoozing with the people,
Then he'd just be 006, and you're like,
right,
give
exactly.
a fuck about 006.
And in my headcanon, they saved 007 for them because they need that luck. It's lucky number 7.
Wow, okay, you really thought this one through.
I have.
That's funny, because it's funny that an entire government organization would be like, this guy's good enough to be an agent, but we got to keep our eye on him. Give him the 007 designation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's a real 007, if you know what I mean.
This guy's a real 007. And that's funny, yeah, because then you're always like, this guy, James Bond, that's not a real name.
Yeah.
That's just some guy.
Right.
That's just a thing that they made up. And that's why I think it's always important when he introduces himself, because it's like, all right.
You're not Charles Barkley.
Yeah. You're just some guy that looks like Charles Bond. Some guy that looks like James Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's my read on it anyway. But
I like it. I guess we're gonna see how they handle Anya Taylor-Joyson's turn as
Aaron
007.
Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor-Joyson.
Yeah. I mean, I hope it goes through at this point. We haven't heard anything for a little bit.
It's definitely gonna be him. Because at this point, how much money they have to be losing at this point to not, like, if he turns it down and they have to go back to the search.
There's someone asking for freaking Jacob Elordi.
Ugh. Is Jacob Elordi British? Australian. Ugh, even worse.
I think he is Australian.
Jacob
now that you
Elordi,
say it,
mate.
yeah. Jacob
I
Elordi.
can be your James Bond.
He is Australian.
He's Australian.
I know my Jacob.
You know your Jacobs.
I know my Jacobs.
I know my Jacobs.
The one from the Bible.
Jacob Elordi, mate. Could beat James Bond.
No. They wouldn't allow an Aussie.
Yeah, I hope not.
An Aussie.
They allowed a Scotsman, and even that was...
It started... Yeah, well... yeah.
What?
I was going to say it started with a Scotsman, but...
That's what I'm saying.
But it didn't, because there was one 007 movie before him.
There was?
There was.
What are you talking about right now? What are you talking about right now? You're blowing my fucking mind right now, bro.
I believe there was a Casino Royale before the official start of the James Bond franchise.
What?
Yeah. I think that's what it was. If it wasn't Casino Royale, it was His Majesty's Service or whatever.
What? No, that movie was later.
Oh, okay. So, but there was... Look up James Bond before Sean Connery.
Okay, I'll Google James Bond.
I'm telling you, they did it.
Before
But
Sean
it
Connery.
was a goofy 60s movie.
Barry Nelson. The original James Bond, Barry Nelson, had a short stint as Agent 007 in a forgotten TV episode before the iconic Sean Connery took over. Roger Moore. Okay, hold on.
What was it called?
I know, that's what I'm trying to find. That was just Google's, like,
The AI.
basically.
The AI barf.
Okay, so I mean, the first movie was Sean Connery and Dr. No. This was
Right.
Bond was first portrayed on screen by American actor Barry Nelson in a 1954 Climax television adaptation, Casino Royale.
That's what I meant.
Climax was the TV show.
Yeah.
Climax,
But it was Casino Royale.
later known as Climax Mystery Theater, is an American television anthology series that aired on CBS from 54 to -- So, okay. So it's like
so
an
even before
anthology
then, the 50s.
series where he just Casino Royale is a live 1954 television adaptation of the 1953. Wow. So they, in less than a year, they were like, yo,
this is
film
the
that
stuff.
shit. It's so good.
You got
Ian
something there.
Fleming, you motherfucker. Like, yo. That's,
Son of a bitch.
That's crazy.
You got it.
And they were like, we're definitely going to make him an American agent because fuck you. Most of the largely forgotten shows is what's the plot? Combined intelligence agent James Bond comes under fire from an assassin. He dodges bullets and enters Casino, where he meets his British contact, Clarence Lader, who remembers to defeat Le Chiffre. They did keep Le Chiffre.
Le Chiffre.
Le Chiffre.
What does Le Chiffre mean? CHEIFFRE, right?
Apparently, according to Wikipedia, in French, it means the cipher or the digit.
Oh.
Is a fictional
Chiffre.
character and the main antagonist of Casino Royale.
Le Chiffre.
Yeah, Le Chiffre.
So, loosely,
Anyway, Barry Nelson is the first
Technically.
technical James Bond
on
portrayal.
film,
Yeah.
yes.
Sean Connery is the second
Right.
and the first movie adaptation.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Thank you.
Very, very nice piece of
Full of this useless knowledge up in here.
That's some trivia shit right there. That'll
Yeah.
fuck up some people. They'll be like, oh yeah, it's totally Sean Connery, and it's like, no, it's not.
It's Barry Nelson.
You're gonna be a son of a bitch right now.
Yep.
Barry
That's
Nelson.
like a Tarantino fact.
Yeah.
He's definitely seen that episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
He's seen Climax multiple times.
Climax! It had an exclamation point. That was the way it was written.
Yeah.
Climax!
Okay. Okay, we are not doing that.
Sorry.
We are not doing that.
Should I blur that out?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, all right. I don't know how we got on the topic of James Bond, but here
It doesn't matter.
we go. Back to the topics at hand. What
Okay.
we told people we were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is Nintendo Direct.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't like that? Okay.
What was it?
Woohoo!
There you go. See, it's better. I think the vodka is chopping up your voice.
Oof.
This stuff. Oof. Did he tell you?
No, I didn't tell her.
Yesterday we were hanging out and Andy Andy was just like, I need to hear Adam's impression of Mario slamming into a wall and going, oof.
I did it at the bar.
Yeah. And they were like, I need to hear it again. And so I texted him and he gave us a voice memo.
What? It was when you were on the phone. And I went to the bedroom and I went, oof.
Was it during a work call?
No, it was when you were talking to Jamie.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were just hanging out, and
Yeah.
Andy was like, I need to hear it again.
Aw.
Yeah.
Did it land?
It did land.
Okay,
They loved
good,
it.
Good.
They
good.
loved it.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a Nintendo Direct that was awesome. They announced a lot of stuff that people were looking for,
That's right.
including Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest.
Is that what it's called in America?
Yeah,
still
as far as I know, it's still called
in Japan.
Dragon
It was
Quest.
Dragon Warrior. So
It's Dragon Quest here.
Dragon Quest here. So they
His
announced.
mama named him Dragon Quest. I'm going to call him Dragon Quest.
So they announced. It's kind of a remake of HD 2D / 3D remake of Dragon Quest 3, which is a prequel, and then 2 in 1 package afterwards. Which I've been wanting to play, so I'm okay. I'm all right. But beyond that, in my face. In my face. What?
That's high quality H2O.
Thank you so much. Here, it's yours. But yeah, no, there was a lot of announcements, including Dragon Quest 3 and 1 and 2 in one package coming out later. One of the bigger ones was Metroid Prime Part 4. Finally, an update on that game, because we've heard about it forever ago. So that's exciting, and they showed some what looks like gameplay, and I can't wait, because I played the Metroid Prime 1 remake, which is awesome, and a bunch of other stuff. But the one of the bigger games that was announced there was.
Why would you do that? Why, I don't understand. Why would you do that? You piece of shit.
I want you to talk about it.
Talk about what?
The game we were going to talk about.
Why would you throw it to me? You were doing so well, and then you throw it to me, and I'm like, I'm lost. Zelda.
Thank you. You could have just said that.
Because I forgot, and I was like, oh, he's doing so well. I'm just going to sit back and
Did
watch.
you turn your brain off?
For a second, I really did. I really decided that I was going to take a little staycation for a second.
That's all right.
The new Legend of Zelda. All right, you know what? Keep talking to people. I'm going to go pee.
Okay. Thanks.
The new Legend of Zelda.
It's The Legend of Zelda.
The Legend of Zelda.
Echoes of Wisdom.
Echoes of Wisdom.
Which is going to be a brand new game that is in a like a remake 2D style, but in 3D. But it's making headlines now because it's the first game, maybe not the first, but one of the first modern game that lets you play as the titular Zelda, Princess Zelda. So it seems to be a part of the same universe as Breath of the Wild and the rest of this new generation of Zelda games, but in this really cutesy, chibi, like 2D, 3D style. And the main mechanic here is that you have this wand that can replicate items. Excuse me? Sherry, do you have something to say? She giggled at me saying wand. But yes, so the main mechanic is you have a wand that can replicate items to allow you to continue to progress in a level or to fight enemies. So they showed like you're able to replicate rock to throw at a goblin, and I mean it just looks so charming and cool. And I mean I'm glad that Princess Zelda's getting her own game finally, and yeah, I think it's really exciting to see where they're going to take this cutesy simplistic style, especially that it's kind of mirroring some of the stylistic choices from Breath of the Wild. Yeah, that's all I have to say about Zelda, Marco.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you haven't really played Breath of the Wild, and
No, I haven't.
what's the other one called again? I forget.
Wild of the Breath. Wild,
Yeah,
yo,
the
you
wild.
got some wild
You got
breath.
Wild of the Breath. Yeah.
Legend of Zelda. You got some wild,
Wild
ass
of the
breath.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it, but
Not the most recent one, no.
the main thing obviously is that you're playing as Princess Zelda.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. I wish you were here to hear my explanation.
I was trying, but
It's okay.
Couldn't hear
Yeah, so the main thing is you are playing as Princess Zelda. It seems like it's in the same universe as Breath of the Wild. And
I mean, are they going like full on, like switching back and forth between Zelda and
No!
Oh.
This is a Zelda game.
No, I mean Zelda and you can be Sheik.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I'm not sure. They haven't shown anything about that. But it is in this like 2D style. 2D, 3D style.
So this is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild?
No, it's not. But it looks
Maybe
like...
I should have paid attention.
It's fine. It's fine. You'll-
Am I asking questions you already answered while I was in
yeah,
the bathroom?
a little bit.
Okay.
It's all right.
You know what? Then I'll just go back and listen to it.
Go back,
afterward.
watch this episode.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're excited though.
I am. I'm super excited about this game. I was kind of wondering at first, like, would it even really be worth it to invest in these games knowing that Switch 2 is on the horizon?
Mm-hmm.
And they announced a lot of games that are coming out next year, which makes me think, like, will these be Switch 2 games?
Yeah.
Or will they be like an upgrade kind of thing for Switch 2?
Mm-hmm. Like they've been doing with PS4 and PS5 games.
Right. But, I've decided to stop worrying about it and just, like, play the games when they come out if I want to play them and kind of, leave it up to chance. Because, again, I do have faith that Nintendo will have backwards compatibility because they've been pretty good about that in years past. So, I mean, we'll see. But I think it was a really good Nintendo Direct overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there... I put this in my notes, and it's because of what Sherry said while we were like setting up the podcast. Last movie that made you cry. I think because we were like thinking, what do we? We need to add something else. We need to beef up this episode of the show. And then I was like, oh, I wonder about that. We don't have to do that, but it was in my notes.
Okay.
I can't remember the last movie that actually made me cry. So.
I can remember.
You can?
I can.
Last movie that made me cry.
Yeah.
What is it? What was the last movie that made you cry?
The last movie that made me cry was La La Land.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No one was not.
What was it then? You tell me, Sherry. Soul didn't make me cry.
Cried at Soul.
I didn't cry
She
at
said you
Soul.
cried like a bitch during Soul.
No. I didn't cry at Soul. I don't count like a single tear.
Oh, okay.
What?
So that's not crying. What is that?
All right, Soul made
Did
me
you
sad.
sob while watching?
Almost. It's a beautiful love story. Okay, well I guess it was Soul then, since I'm being
Soul.
called out.
Because the one single tear that he couldn't
It's
drag
the single.
that one back
It's
up.
the single tier rule.
That's not a rule.
It is a rule. If you have one tear, it's enough that you can go,
No.
and it goes back up in your eye.
I also cried at
Man, you be crying.
Pinocchio.
Not
Pinocchio.
The Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah,
Pinocchio?
he made Pinocchio.
You cried at that.
No, he didn't.
Yes, you did.
You're a liar.
You're a liar.
He sat up there and his eyes were all wet. He was really sad.
See, it. Look, my eyes get wet when I yawn.
I can't believe you even just said that. I can't believe you even just tried to.
It's true.
Are you serious, right?
It's true.
So what? The Guillermo del Toro movie made you yawn a lot? Is that what you're saying to me? What are you
No.
about?
I mean, it was a sad movie, and I enjoyed it
So
very
when you get
much.
sad, you yawn? You yawn enough to cry?
Sometimes I yawn. I yawn sometimes.
What are you talking about?
All right, whatever.
No, he's a man. He's a
Men can cry.
Crying man.
I'm a 2024 man.
goddamn right. Men can cry.
Men can cry.
Men can cry.
They often do.
Yeah.
It's healthy. It's good for you.
Last movie that made me cry. I mean, honestly, I don't watch a lot of like emotionally taxing movies nowadays because life is emotionally taxing
Yeah.
enough. I don't really want to watch movies that do that. So
Yeah,
probably was Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm,
I did
yeah,
cry like
yeah.
a bitch watching
Yeah.
that movie. I was just like, tears were just streaming down my face. I was like, oh yeah.
We saw that one together.
Yeah, and I cried when we watched it.
I know.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, this movie.
I just remember looking at you and going, right?
I was like, So yeah, I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time watching movies like that. That would pull those emotions out of me.
Yeah.
So-
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a valid answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm not even gonna front and act like I'm like, oh, I should watch more movies like that. I mean, I probably should, but I'm not gonna.
That's fine.
It's just, I
I'll-
have to be
I'll-
honest. I'm not gonna watch movies like that.
I will always be here to force you to watch emotionally taxing films.
I know.
Yeah.
So you're like a sadist.
Look, it's part of the human experience, and you need to experience it.
I experience it on the daily, brother.
No, not like this. Not like this.
Not like this.
It's more beautiful on film.
More beautiful than real life.
It is. It is.
You're a sicko.
Helps you process.
I don't know.
It's good.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to process that stuff off camera, but what we're going to do on camera is process two last things before we get out of here. And number one is we have to do our cheers of the week. So, Obi, please tell the people what's your cheers of the week?
My cheers of the week goes to Sherry. Are you ready?
Oh.
Dairy Girls.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what that is.
That's awesome.
Dairy Girls, you can watch on Netflix. I don't know where it originated. I think it was Channel 4.
Oh, you guys tell me about this.
Yeah. So it's a kind of a period piece comedy set in the 90s in Ireland during the Troubles. And it centers mostly around a group of girls in high school and one guy. And it's kind of just about their life experiences and adventures. And it's mostly lighthearted, gets serious from time to time, but it's...
Did you cry watching it?
I didn't cry watching it. Sherry did.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's
You
one...
cried remembering something today.
It's okay to cry.
It is. I'm just saying that it's not that hard for her to cry.
It's true, yeah. It's very emotionally in touch. But yeah, no, it's a great show. I was a little hesitant to watch it because, the name Dairy Girls makes it seem like it's just going to be this like...
show about cows.
Yeah, Dairy Girls. Yeah, the dairy. It's spelled D-E-R-R-Y, by the way. But no, it's really good, and actually kind of speaks to an era of time that I grew up in like the mid '90s. Not in Ireland, obviously, but there's some like music and like cultural touchstones that are represented there that I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. But I was impressed. I was impressed because I wouldn't have watched it without Sherry promoting it to me, but I came away actually impressed by the writing and the acting and the entire kind of facade, or not facade, but the entire idea behind the collection of friends, the teenage friendship part of it that I think is universal. You don't have to be Irish or lived in Derry. Excuse me.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Wow.
I just got really emotional about Dairy Girls.
But yeah, I recommend it. I recommend it to really everyone. I think it's a really good show. Check it out. It's only 4 seasons? 3 seasons.
There you go.
And every episode's only about a half hour long. So check it out.
All right, my cheers of the week is going to the late, great James Gandolfini, who passed away today, June 19th.
Years ago, though.
2013.
There you go, yeah.
But he did pass away on Juneteenth, which, by the way, that's half a cheers goes to Juneteenth.
Of course.
They made it a federal holiday, which is a long time coming. Whole thing. James Gandolfini. Andy and I are we're finally doing our rewatch of The Sopranos.
Oh, thank God.
And
I feel like every couple has to, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta go through Sopranos.
It's a rite of passage.
It is.
And his performance in that show is just a masterclass. He does everything you could ever want from an actor in a show like that. He hits every emotional beat. I mean, he's funny, he's convincing, he's intense, he's dramatic. He does. I mean, it's just having watched the show, and then I started a rewatch by myself, and then when I started dating Andy, we've restarted it now. So now this is like 3.5 times I've watched the show.
Yeah.
Every time I watch it, it's just like he's so. It's like words can't even describe how good he is on the show. And then when he does other things, when you see like his other ambitions of being like a stage actor and like the other movies that he was in, I mean, James Gandolfini was just so good. I mean, a guy just taken from us too soon.
Yeah.
And the fact that like we're recording on this day is just kind of like, I think, appropriate to just shout out.
Sure.
The fact that like before I got here, I watched like 7 episodes of The Sopranos. And then I came over here and we recorded. I'm like, I have to shout it out to the man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
James Gandolfini. So
it's a good one.
there you go.
And another mini shout out to Willie Mays.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Willie
yeah.
Mays
Passed
Willie
away.
Mays.
I think just yesterday.
Yeah,
So
yeah. He was 180 years old. He passed away yesterday. No, that was the anniversary of his death.
what?
That was the anniversary of his
Okay.
death. Okay. Last but not least, let's review these brewskis. So, Obi, tell me what you thought of the Tripping Animals Ever Hazy IPA.
I really liked it. I am an IPA guy, as you guys know. But this one was, I mean, it had everything that I want from a hazy, which is making it a little fruity. Hoppy.
A little hoppy.
But overall, well balanced.
Overall,
Not over
well
the top.
balanced.
Again, I think 7% is pretty much perfect for an IPA.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna give it a 5.5. I really like this one.
Ooh, okay.
Really enjoyed it. Bonus points for the art.
People really like the art for Tripping Animals.
Yeah.
So, this is, I mean, they always do some sick stuff with this. They're going to run out of animals, I think. I'm going to give it a 5. This is a really good IPA. We were talking, I don't know actually if I'm going to include it in the beginning of the episode, but we were talking about IPAs and my feelings on them, and not the biggest fan, but obviously when we do them on the show, Adam always seems to pick like really good ones, and I think this, follows along the same trend. Tripping Animals, great brewery. They do great work. 7%. Probably the best happy medium of an IPA. The hops that they use, Cashmere, Citra, and Amarillo. I mean, it's a really good IPA. Fruity, well balanced, not too,
but not
too
frou-frou
hazy.
with
not frou-frou.
They don't say there's like notes of apricot and
no. They just like
Hawaiian
it's
pear.
hoppy. It's a little fruity. It's a little bitter.
Yeah.
It kind of sticks to your ribs a little bit. Like it it's an IPA. It's a hazy IPA for sure. But yeah, no, they're not like you're going to get guava and you're going to get marshmallow and you're going to get this, that, and the other thing. And if you don't, well, so yeah. Yeah, it's a good IPA. I'm going to give it a 5.
Agreed.
So a 5 for me, a 5.5. For you, good sir. You think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, then this episode is over. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.
Yeah.